Look for outside of the wins and losses about where your team is? Is it a physical thing as well as the results?
Well, usually tournaments are great because it gives you alone time with your team and it helps with that bonding. For us, going to Italy helped with that, so it's not as big a deal. But anytime you're together for multiple days, it allows you to physically, mentally grow together and be able to just hopefully bond and have a closeness that helps you throughout the year. With us, physically, it'll help like Tristan and guys coming back from injuries and whatnot to get stretch themselves to get ready for later in the year when you play on a Saturday and Big Monday or conference tournaments where you play multiple games in multiple days.
Scott, what are your hopes for Tristan in this game as far as playing time, that kind of thing?
Triple-double. It was good having him in practice yesterday, and again, this is a process. So we just want each and every day for him to be able to improve, and he's such a great teammate. He cares how the team does, so really just allowing him to help how he can right now.
Is he, can you tell a difference since he had his procedure?
Yes. I mean, it's hard because we're limiting his reps, so you don't want him in there too much. But he did have more pop and looked more explosive for sure.
What have you seen from those? Been running the 3-guard lineup. What have you seen from that? What did you see from last game? What do you expect from them going forward when you run that lineup?
Well, the good thing is when you have multiple playmakers, it allows you to offensively not have to conduct everything because they can create on their own. It really helps us in transition. And obviously when you're hitting threes, you can add points in a hurry. So it's great having multiple guys who can create for each other. And again, I think that's another thing that you look at it, and most of those guys were used to being the leading scoring option on the last team they played at or in their past, and now learning how to play for each other where they can make plays for each other to get higher percentage shots is the next maturation.
Speaking of that, I mean, speaking of leading scoring, Jared Butler has been really good for you guys in the first 3 games. What have you seen, and how has his confidence grown from where he was at this time last year?
Well, Jared's always a confident player. That's one of his strengths. At the same time, I think his percentages obviously are much higher, and I think he knows his shot selection is much better than it was as a freshman, and his leadership is also really improved.
Scott, Ohio, what do you see from them?
Well, this is when you coach at a mid-major, this is a dream come true, playing a Power 5 on a neutral court. So, I mean, they're going to be exciting. That's what makes the ESPN events so challenging and tough because there's no easy games. And when they get teams from mid-major conferences, usually those are elite teams and teams that are scheduled to have very good years. So every coach in the tournament knows just how hard it is to win the ESPN events because you got 3 challenging games. Doesn't matter whatever the name is on the jersey.
Coach, Preston and Vanderplus for them kind of give them a little bit of a, guard and big combo. What do you see from those 2 guys, and what kind of challenge do you think they're going to bring?
Well, offensively, they're a lot of fun to watch. They can score in a hurry, and their pick and roll offense is really hard to guard. And a bigger guard like that allows you to see over the defenses, and he's averaging over 9 assists a game, so one of the leaders in the nation. But when you surround him with a bunch of shooters, now it becomes a lot tougher to guard somebody like that. So this is a team that. I mean, when you win at Iona and you win at St. Bonaventure, those are hard places to win.
Yeah, he's also averaging over 7 rebounds a game. Preston is. How do you keep a guard like that off the glass?
Well, we've done a pretty good job this year with our 3 guards in blocking out, and we've done a pretty good job in getting to the glass. So that's just something we do. So in the Big 12, there's a lot of big guards or smaller athletic guards that like to rebound, and that's just something we try to emphasize each and every day. And it's not often you play guards that size in non-conference, but it'll be a good test for us.
3 games in 4 days. Does this test your conditioning a little bit this early?
No question, and I think it allows us to. It's one thing we've really played well in stretches this year, and now this allows us to see if we can start to extend that where we can play well a little bit longer. But when you play multiple games in short periods of times, it helps to have depth, and that's a good thing. Is we feel we have depth, and you need everyone to be ready to step forward and play.
Will you go deeper into a bench in a 3-day and 4-day thing than you would normally in this time of year if you're just playing one game?
Yeah, well, normally, yes, to answer the question. But the other thing is, depending on how the game's been being officiated, early in the year you tend to have games with more fouls. And if you play 3 games in 4 days, 1 or 2 of those games have a chance to have a lot of fouls, which you have to go deeper anyway.
If with Flo Thamba and Matthew Mayer, they're coming into their sophomore years, what are you seeing with them in terms of getting acclimated to the college game?
Well, I think Matt's done a great job considering he didn't have all summer to work. And coming off of his hip surgery, he's really made up a lot of ground in a short period of time. So Flo's a little more advanced conditioning-wise physically because he lifted all summer, and then experience-wise because he was able to get those 10 practices before Italy. So with us, it's a luxury having guys like that are talented and can come in the game and give you a spurt. And thus far, they've played well. And Flo, I know, didn't play in Washington's game, but we feel very comfortable with him being in the game. And especially, again, early in the year, normally there's more foul trouble, and that leads to you have to be deeper.
You had obviously a guy in Mackay last year running the point for you with all that experience. Now you got a guy like Davion. What are some of the challenges and the things that, the upsides of that?
Well, that's one thing with our team too is with good depth. We do have a lot of players for the first time that are playing together and playing for Baylor University. So it's a growing experience for Davion, and even obviously Maceo. It's his first go at it. But with Bandu and Jared, you look at last year. I mean, a lot of times Mackay and King were the ones with the ball, or Mario. So it's new roles and situations for them as well.
Early in the season, the past 2 games, it's kind of been difficult to put the opponent away. What have y'all kind of found what the cause of that has been, or have y'all talked about that at all?
Definitely, we've talked about it. I don't know if you ever find causes until you show you can do it. And Central Arkansas, I like how that game went a lot better, and hopefully we can get more games like that. But when you have opportunities against quality teams to extend the lead or build into the lead, you have to do it. You can't have lapses where you take the foot off the gas, or you make have defensive errors or breakdowns on the offense or defensive end. Sometimes you get up 12, 13, and then you start taking a couple bad shots, or defensively you're not locked in as much, and you give up an offensive rebound and then an and one. So, I mean, for us, you got to win every possession, and doesn't matter what the time or score is.
Does that have to do some with a little bit of the youth on this team still?
No question. When you have more experienced players, they understand the more importance of each and every possession, no matter what point in the game. And with experience, you usually have more consistency, so you don't have as big of swings or letdowns.
How nice is it to have 3 guys that aren't playing this year, with Jordan redshirting and then a couple other guys sitting out, just to have them in practice and competing every day again, like you had kind of last year?
So that's what's so critical from the standpoint. Each and every day practice is how you get better, and in college basketball you practice a lot more than you play. So for the guys that are playing to go against Adam and John and Jordan each and every day, that allows them to stay sharp and improve and get better, and at the same time it helps those guys in their development, and not only learning our offense and defense, but also every team we play, they're learning their offense and defense, which helps their basketball IQ and helps prepare them for when they are able to play.
Thanks, Scott.
Sound good?
Good luck to you.